What's up everyone, and welcome back to Viper Island. Today we're going to recap all of the latest happenings in the world of G.I. Joe. San Diego Comic-Con will happen over the next few days, and then after that, Hasbro's PulseCon will be held on September 13th, 2024. So mark your calendars now. Okay folks, buckle up because we've got a lot to talk about today. And we're gonna start with the name-only reveals. Hasbro announced a very familiar name, Heavy Duty. This confirms our reporting when we confirmed that Heavy Duty was on the way. And he's not alone because Law & Order are also joining them sometime soon. Then we have 3 more names that were at the top of our list for upcoming Retro line figures. Retro Dr. Mindbender, Retro Rock'n'Roll, and the Retro Cobra Viper. Tell us in the comments which of these 5 figures you're looking forward to the most. Then next, let's jump over to the digital renders. This time around, Hasbro gave us 3 new ones. First up, the Cobra Claw and the Cobra Pilot. This female pilot has swappable heads, and the Cobra Claw has blast effects, articulated handlebars, and posable landing gear. Almost any G.I. Joe classified figure should be able to strap into the Cobra Claw. Then next, let's take a look at Leatherneck. Leatherneck is a drill sergeant and a rugged marine. Hasbro gave him shooting glasses, his regular backpack, and his standard weapons. Overall, this is exactly what we were hoping for with Leatherneck. And let's keep the vibes high because next we've got Xandar. This is a glam rock rebel with a headband, eyeliner, and flowing dark orange hair. His shoulder pads have skulls, he's very well sculpted, and his protective vest can be removed. Underneath that are what Hasbro called other details, but we figure that this is likely to be the lightning bolts painted on his chest. And now let's talk about the next wave of figures, and we're gonna start with the 60th anniversary line. First up, the Action Marine Sniper. A while ago we broke the news that the Action Marine Sniper would be female. Some didn't believe us, but behold, this is a cool looking female sniper. She has 2 different heads, 2 different hats. All are swappable. One of the hats has glasses attached with a headset, and one of the head sculpts is more of a commando style. She has a sniper rifle in a case and swappable hands and other weapons. Overall, my initial grade for this is a 9.5 out of 10. Then let's move over to the Action Pilot Halo Jumper. This includes a parachute which can be stored inside his backpack. And we gave you a heads up a few months ago that the Action Pilot would include a parachute, and this confirms it. Let us know how you feel about these parachutes and if you plan on using them with your figures. The Halo Jumper is covered in camo from head to toe. Essentially, this is a repaint of the Night Force Ripcord. It looks absolutely outstanding. So I'm gonna get right to my initial grade, a 9.5 out of 10. So far, the 60th anniversary line has not disappointed. It's been one banger after another. And now with the Action Marine Sniper and the Action Pilot Halo Jumper, collectors have a brand new line of troop builders for the Joes. Next is the PulseCon exclusive for this year. As first revealed by IGN, we have Starduster. This includes a mini box of cereal which features Starduster on the front. As we've told you for months, Starduster is a repaint of Retro Duke. Back in the 80s, Starduster was in fact a straight repaint of Duke. Meanwhile, both Glenda and Quarrel received new head sculpts despite featuring heavy reuse of Scarlet. By contrast, Starduster did not receive the same respect from Hasbro. This reuse in G.I. Joe Classified will drive away some collectors who don't want to pay twice for the same figure essentially, while longtime fans of Starduster will definitely be excited to order this. And given the rarity of the figure back in the 80s, a lot of those who missed out on the 1980s OG Starduster might be lining up in droves to get their first figure of Starduster. So the big question is, how do you feel about Starduster? Are you in or out? Let us know which camp you fall into. Are you excited for this figure, or are you going to pass? Starduster is wearing a light blue button-up shirt, light blue combat pants with a camo design over top, and he has long black gloves which cover his wrists. He also includes a jetpack from the Steel Corps, a shotgun, a Steel Corps helmet, a combat helmet which is just straight reuse of Retro Duke's helmet, a laser rifle from the Retro line, a handgun, a pair of binoculars, and 3 pairs of hands. If you've ever wanted to know what Duke looks like with black hair and a light blue shirt, you now have your answer thanks to Starduster. In the packaging artwork, the Cobra Fang is featured. This is an Easter egg for one of the 2025 vehicles that we suspect are currently in Hasbro's plans. That said, these Cobra Fangs are the exact ones from the 4-inch line. These are not classified designs shown on the packaging, but it's still fun to think about new vehicles vehicles that are on the way. It's definitely disappointing that there weren't any original parts or pieces that stand out for Starduster, but on the flip side, that does make it an effective exclusive. In my opinion, it looks decent, but these days, that's not enough to stand out. Overall, my grade for Starduster is a surprisingly low 5 out of 10. I'm sure some of you out there disagree with me. Let me know your enthusiasm for Starduster in the comments below. And if you do agree with me and you're disappointed or underwhelmed by Starduster, drop a comment as well. Next, over to Raptor. Raptor is a deluxe figure. It features a sculpted mask around the eyes, a head cover similar to the snow serpent's, although Raptor's is intended to look like a bird, and it is removable. Underneath that hood, Raptor has a head of slick back hair, although he looks very similar to Flint. Let me know if you agree in the comments down below. Raptor has mechanical wings, which feature articulation points to help it fold in or out. There are 2 holes on the back of his wingsuit backpack. These might be portholes for blast effects. He also includes long hand claws similar to nunchucks, and there's a silver belt buckle in the shape of a bird with its wings flared out. He has a tattoo design down his torso, brown pants, and his boots are designed to look like a bird's feet. In my opinion, it does look like Raptor, albeit a modernized version, and he has mechanical wings. So I do prefer this over the old school cloth goods cape that he had in the 80s. Many collectors, including us, were hoping for mechanical wings like Vulture from the Marvel Universe. So on that note, with this Raptor being part of the Classified series and featuring modern updates, I would argue that this is a win. It'll satisfy many collectors out there, and this is also a good time to mention that a retro line edition of Raptor with the vintage-inspired cape wings and overall look will be released at some point in the future. So as always, if you're disappointed by this edition, you can always wait for the retro figure to be made at some time later down the road. All of that said, I am very impressed by the overall look of Raptor. His mechanical wings can fold down over top of his shoulders to cover up his front as a shield, and that alone takes this figure up a couple levels. His bird is smaller than I think most people were hoping, but for me it's an afterthought. All of my focus and attention here is on Raptor, and especially those wings. I feel like Raptor was definitely one of those characters that needed a modern update, and we're glad that Hasbro listened, because the end result here is turning a goofy character into someone who looks absolutely badass when he's all geared up. So overall, my initial grade for Raptor is a 9.4 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts and reaction in the comments below. And while you're doing that, let's move over to one of my all-time favorites, Road Pig. This is one thick, beefy-looking brute of a dreadnought. He's vintage-inspired with some updates, and overall it just looks incredible. And of course there's still some room here to lean more into the vintage-inspired look for the retro line. But never mind that, this is an all-new figure, and Hasbro described him as enormous. He's definitely wide, and there's a big Dreadnought's tattoo on his stomach, but weapons-wise, he comes with 2 different hammers. His old-school cinderblock hammer, and then a modernized iron bore hammer. It's undeniable that Road Pig looks absolutely deadly here. And he's not alone, he has an animal companion, Raucous, his pit bull. There are 2 different head sculpts here, as with most animals, and I think they nailed Raucous. This should be a very popular set, and if that wasn't enough, Road Pig can also go into battle mode. That's right, he comes with a barbarian pig head helmet for his Road Warrior look, and that includes a riot shield with a boar logo on it. Imagine all of this put together with either or both of his hammers, in addition to football shoulder pads, with a lot of padding to make him even more invincible. And the cherry on top is a skull on top of one of the shoulder pads. Road Pig's face looks a little bit cartoony, but I can overlook that because in the end, Road Pig is one big brute of a figure. As a fan of Road Pig, this is exactly what I was asking for and hoping that Hasbro would deliver. Let me know if you feel the same way, or if you think they missed the mark somehow with Road Pig. If so, I'd be very interested in hearing your take. But in the meantime, this figure is everything I want Road Pig to be. As they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and when it comes to Road Pig, so long as it captures the essence of Road Pig, I'm fine with it, and this figure absolutely nails who Road Pig is. And so because of that, my initial grade for Road Pig is a 9.8 out of 10. This is definitely going to be high in the rankings for the Viper Island year-end report to determine the best figures of the year. Then next we have a brand new 2-pack to talk about. And this is more of a battle pack, because the theme is Steel Core versus the Twilight Guard. First, let's talk about the Twilight Guard. This is a member of the Iron Grenadiers army. He has a cloth goods cape, and this is essentially a repaint of the Crimson Guard and Cobra Officer. The color scheme here is black and lavender purple, and the accessories are reused mostly from the Crimson Guard and Gung Ho. Overall, this color scheme is both striking and bold. It definitely fits the Iron Grenadier theme very well. Then next, we'll jump over to the other side of the 2-pack, the Steel Core Commander. This is the gold-headed Steel Core figure. Hasbro had originally planned to include this figure as the final tier of the Dragonfly HasLab project, before ultimately replacing it with the Night Force Crazy Legs instead. This figure is very similar to the original Steel Core Trooper, with the main difference being a gold-colored helmet. For those who are army building the Steel Core Troopers, this commander figure will carry even more importance. Gold symbolizes strength, courage, and prestige, very fitting for a commander. So color-wise, the use of gold and olive green together provides a high contrast that makes the figure stand out in a great way. The richness of gold here adds a touch of sophistication, while the muted tone of olive green brings in a rugged military feel. Each color complements the others, and of all the Steel Core figures to own, this one might have the best overall quality. At this point of the line, according to Hasbro, the soft gummy plastic will now be a thing of the past by the end of 2024. And with this commander figure being released at a time when the quality of plastic has been improving, that's good news for collectors or anyone who's interested in this figure. And let's not forget, this figure will level up any vehicle. Whether it's the Dragonfly, the Vamp, or even the Night Pursuit cycle, he suits them all. I think hands down this is the best Steel Core or Steel Brigade figure that's out there on the market, period. And in terms of my initial grade here, I'm going a little higher than I even expected. I'm giving the Steel Core Commander an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts, and what grade you would give the Steel Core Commander. Are you less impressed because we've already seen the Steel Core Troopers before, or are you on my side of the fence, and you really appreciate the gold-headed Steel Core Commander? Whatever your thoughts are, sound off in the comments. Then next, let's talk about the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Once a Man Cobra Commander. It's housed inside a decorative box with detailed G.I. Joe the movie artwork. The image includes Cobra Commander in the center, a menacing Globulus off to the side, Nemesis Immortal appears flying on the right side, and beneath Cobra Commander are Falcon to the left and Roadblock to the right. And just like in G.I. Joe the movie, this shows Roadblock carrying the snake version of Cobra Commander who's wrapped around Roadblock's torso. This artwork strongly hints at Globulus joining the line soon as well. Included with Cobra Commander are the following: the figure with the classic Cobra Commander helmet and faceplate, a separate faceplate, his serpent head sculpt, a snake version of Cobra Commander with movable arms, and a bendable snake body which can be wrapped around other figures. And it also includes the expected reuse of all the standard hands and weapons that we've seen before. This time, Cobra Commander's uniform has been torn open, revealing his snake-scale torso and arms. His pants are also torn near his boots. If you're into this Cobra Commander, tell us in the comments below. As for my own thoughts, it's a great fit for a convention exclusive, because not everyone is into the fantasy world of Cobra Law. Here on Viper Island, we've long maintained that exclusives should not be main characters, but rather memorable one-offs, repaints, or special editions. And that's exactly what Once a Man Cobra Commander is. That said, I'm more impressed by the packaging and the artwork than the figure itself. But that shouldn't take anything away from the figure. This is a highly detailed sculpt with scales galore, torn clothing, and all the accessories one would expect this to have. So it hits all the marks for anyone who's a fan of the movie or who wants a snake version of Cobra Commander. I'm a huge fan of the classic look that's captured by the retro card Cobra Commander. So this one, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, seems unnecessary for me, and I'm very likely going to skip this figure. The snake figure itself is the highlight for the convention exclusive. The arms only move at the shoulders, so the articulation is fairly basic. The mouth is sculpted open, it doesn't appear that it can close. There's a torso cut for articulation in the middle of the body, and the extra faceplate is cracked. In the packaging artwork, Globulus is in the background riding on an alien pod, which will likely be included with Globulus for Classified. My initial grade for this figure is 8.2 out of 10. It's very well sculpted, and it fits in line with the movie. It's just not exactly what I'm looking for. And next, let's talk about the Night Force 2-pack of Falcon and Quarrel. This is easily the best version of Falcon that we've gotten so far, and yes, Falcon does have a brand new head sculpt. For those who have the first Falcon, you can use this Night Force head sculpt to replace the original Falcon's head. And then with the Steel Core helmet, you can turn this Falcon figure into a Night Force Steel Core Trooper. It sure does seem like the Steel Core helmets have been given to a lot of characters lately, and we should expect to see that continue. Paired up with Falcon is a character named Quarrel. Quarrel was originally an international release back in 1984. She was a part of the Action Force line in the UK and parts of Europe. Like the original, the classified version features a lot of reuse from Scarlet, and she also includes a crossbow. Quarrel now joins both Scarlet and Glenda in reusing the same mold. I expect that some of you out there will disagree with my initial grade for this 2-pack, and that's okay, we all have our different opinions. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's not a bad score, it's not a great score, but I think it accurately represents how I feel about this 2-pack. Falcon is really good, I just have next to no interest in Quarrel. For those who are interested in Quarrel, you're probably going to rank this a lot higher. Then next, let's talk about the brand new HasLab campaign for this year. After the last year of talking about the Cobra Rattler being this year's HasLab campaign, it's now confirmed. The Cobra Rattler ground attack jet is this year's new HasLab campaign. It should go without saying that we're the least surprised by this news. As the Hasbro team themselves said, it was the worst kept secret in G.I. Joe. We've been talking this up for the last calendar year. And for good reason. It was worth the wait. Here are the details for the Cobra HasLab. Hasbro's looking to secure 9,000 backers to make this fully funded by September 9th. That won't be a problem at all. This is a sleek-looking jet. The pilot, of course, is Wild Weasel, a fan favorite of many. And Wild Weasel does have a face, he has his own head sculpt, as well as 2 flight helmets. One helmet has a broken visor for battle damage, the other helmet is pristine. The Rattler's cockpit has an articulated control stick and throttle. The control panel can be illuminated, and there's even an image of Cobra Commander on a video screen on the panel. There are also warning lights which flash in the cockpit, and this is because it also includes swappable battle-damaged armor plates. The battle-damaged plate has big holes in the side which highlight the illuminated hull, and it's lit up with flashing lights either from the warning lights or fire. Either way, this is awesome. Then there's spring-loaded landing gear with manual retraction and push-button release. There are rotatable wings which enable the VTOL liftoff. And it even gets better. These wings are also foldable. They can fold upright for easier storage. And here are the dimensions on the screen. Some of the access panels on the outside are removable and reveal inside parts of the jet. On the nose of the jet is a manually rotating jawbreaker cannon. This is one powerful weapon. In addition, there are 16 bombs and missiles, plus some blast effects. This has a 360-degree rotating turret with twin cannons which also pivot up and down. Even better, inside the turret area is an articulated control stick just for the gunner, as well as a light-up display. The Rattler comes with a posable display stand. It's over 11 inches long, 7.5 inches tall, and 7 inches wide. But for even better posing, there's an attachment piece for the stand which points the Rattler into a nosedive or takeoff position. The stand also has a pull-out drawer for storing accessories. That's the kind of innovation that we've been waiting for with this line. As for the tiers, the first tier is looking to secure 11,000 backers, and it offers backers 3 different patches. These are for the Cobra Airborne Squadron. Tier 2 requires 14,000 backers. This secures the Cobra Rattler gunner figure with the red mask. There are 2 different head sculpts, 2 different skin tones, one with black hair, one with brown hair, as well as a flight helmet. The third tier requires 18,000 backers in total, and this unlocks the Pilot Baroness, aka Flight Suit Baroness. She has a flight helmet, a headset, 3 hair pieces, and her blue flight suit. So this is fairly close to what we expected. The gunner looks fantastic for a supporting crew member. And Baroness offers 4 unique looks. Including her makes a lot of sense because she appeals to a wide base of collectors. She's also an iconic Cobra character, and she adds more name value to the project, and that's important. Having a recognizable character attached as a tier adds more overall interest, which is the name of the game with crowdfunding projects. So while some may have wanted a different character or even a different female pilot, Baroness secures a higher number of backers, so that's what matters most here. We'll take a closer look at the Rattler soon, where I'll give my official grade. In the meantime, let us know your thoughts. From 0 to 10, how impressed are you with the Cobra Rattler? Are you happy with all 3 tiers? What do you think of the 3 Cobra Airborne patches? And how many Rattlers will you be ordering if you're in on this project? Sound off and let's get talking about this year's HasLab. Folks, after today's reveals, we have a lot to talk about. Pre-orders for a lot of these open on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. As always, we want your takes in the comments section. Today's Viper Island question of the day is, what's your reaction to the new classified reveals? Are you impressed, disappointed, or somewhere in the middle? And which is your favorite reveal? We want to hear from you, so let us know in the comments. My name is Liam. You can follow me on Instagram at Viper Island. For all things G.I. Joe, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the show, smash that like button. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!